guys, to another episode on the Extra Mile. My name is Alex and welcome to a very special episode. This is a comparison between Assetto Corsa Competizione and Automobilista 2. The reason being is that Automobilista 2 has recently released an update where we got a few new cars. And among those is this one, the AMG GT3. I believe it's the 2015 version. I'm not 100% sure. I know that we have the 2015 version of this car in Assetto Corsa Competizione. And that's why I wanted to record this video. I wanted to do a quick race here in AMS2 and then a quick race in ACC and just compare how these cars feel. Now this video will not be about lap times. This will just be about force feedback, graphics, sounds, the AI, just a general first impression of the two cars and how they differ. If they do, I'm sure they will. And the next one will be more technical, where we'll pick a nice track, probably Bathurst, and do hot lapping runs in both games and see if the times differ from each other. And see if the handling differs from each other. We might even do something funky like copying the setup that we have in ACC, every single value for everything that we can adjust, transfer that over to AMS2 and see if we get the same handling or if we can get the cars to perform similar in terms of lap times. So anyway, without much further ado, I thank you very much for being here, guys. Let's start the first race and then move over to ACC. We will start here in AMS2. I hope you enjoy the video, and yeah, let's roll it. All right. It sounds pretty good, I gotta say. It runs so well, look at that, beautiful. I'm running it in 4K resolution. Oh, shit. Sorry about that. Oh, okay. A little bit of contact here. Okay, let's get it together, Alex. This is not a crash test derby. Wow, the force feedback. So they've improved the force feedback quite a bit in this build. And boy, the difference is amazing. Before, there maybe was a little bit of vagueness at the center. Not anymore. You get so much feedback, so much information through the wheel. It feels absolutely amazing. I gotta say, guys, and I don't use these words lightly, but I think this might be the best force feedback that I have ever felt in a sim. It seriously is. It is that good. And that's what I mean when I... Whoa! Want to congratulate the dev team. That when you drive over the curbs, it feels so good in the wheel, because you can tell that they didn't want to rest on an already very good force feedback solution. They kept working on it, and boy does it show. Force feedback really good. I think ACC will have a very hard time beating that. I think this is a step up in terms of engine sound for AMS2. It's still not on the level where, ooh, sliding a little bit, where ACC is. Oh, lovely. What I really like is the tire sounds. But yeah, you can hear every single tire fighting for grip under braking as well. It's really well done. I gotta say, this feels really good. And the most important part of that is the force feedback. Whoa. Okay, braked a little bit too late. Come on. That's what I meant just now, where you can hear the front left tire struggling for grip. Awesome. The game runs beautifully. As you can see, I'm running this in 4K resolution right now. and the game has absolutely no trouble whatsoever when there are other cars on the track. Probably could have taken this one full. Those two are battling hard. Nice. Could have braked later. But yeah, the AI in general does a pretty good job in AMS2. They fight for position. I've never seen any weird braking behavior or like they stop when you are in a certain place in relation to them. Okay, that was fun. That was fun. 203.6. We can see that that is roughly in the range where the other drivers were as well. There's definitely more in there. So now, let's take a look at ACC, guys. Let's just start the race. Just so you know, stock setup, again, I will not change anything. I just want to see first what the game feels like with a stock setup that the devs recommend, so to speak. So yeah, let's do it. Green light, listen to that engine. God damn, okay, straight through the middle. Okay, okay, good start, good start. Brake. Okay, bit of a bump there. The game still runs well, even with so many cars on the track. Again, we are running this in 4K resolution. A little bit of understeer. The force feedback, it's like it's non-existent in comparison to AMS2. I mean, the force feedback here is it's there, it works. I'm using the default values, but the level of information that you get here in comparison to AMS2, it's you can't even compare it almost. It's laughable. Interesting. A bit of understeer again. So obviously the cars handle similarly, but two things stand out to me. One, the level of feedback that you get through the steering wheel is much less here in ACC than it was in AMS2. That, for example, when you're riding the curbs, that you felt every little bit of that in the wheel in AMS2. The wheel feels very numb. Force feedback, holy crap, AMS2 did such a good job. Little bit of understeer again in the setup. The second thing is that the car seems to be a little bit safer in terms of its basic setup, which makes sense because we do have a fast and a slow setup here. Braking points seem to be different as well. Visuals may be a little bit better here in ACC, but the difference honestly is not as big as I would have thought. The games look very similar to me. I gotta say, the car was much more fun to drive in AMS2. Mostly because of the force feedback. Mostly because, oh my god, understeer again. I don't like this. And the AI keeps, yeah, great. Oh, yeah, of course. This is not looking good for ACC, guys. This is not looking good at all. The AI seemed not great. I mean, they were very quick, but they tend to run into you even at 50% aggression and just basically ram you off the road. They don't overtake, they just want to drive straight through you, basically. When you drive the two Sims back to back, there's no question whatsoever which of the two is more fun and more engaging to drive. Absolutely no question in my mind. That is AMS2. They are clearly better, and 95% of that is due to the force feedback. If AMS2 had the sounds of ACC, bingo, there you go. And it might be the case that ACC is more realistic in some ways, that the physics engine is more detailed. All that might be the case, but in the end, how much does that really affect your gameplay experience if, let's say, the heat of the brake discs affects your tire temperature? I mean, you know what I mean? At a certain point, it doesn't really affect your gameplay experience that much. Huh. Well, that was a little bit disappointing, I gotta say. I gotta give it to AMS2 in this comparison. It just... Let's go back to AMS2 for a second. That force feedback. It is so much better. The game seems to perform better. I think I'm getting 60 frames per second here in 4K, where in Assetto Corsa Competizione I only got 30. So... Yeah. This seals the deal. This is the winner of this comparison. And obviously that is a very subjective thing to say. You might feel differently about this. Biggest difference, or the biggest advantage that ACC has over this, is the sound. Especially when you drive these back to back, this feels like a game, like a toy in comparison. ACC sounds much more visceral. I got much more gearbox whine, I got much more brake squeal, I got much more exhaust notes. This is, in comparison to that, far worse. However, in terms of how the car actually feels to drive, the handling, the force feedback, how much fun it is to drive the car around corners, this is much better. Yeah, but one thing that I want to mention as well, make that very clear, is that there are many more similarities between the cars than there are differences. It's very cool to see how both games use a completely different engines to arrive at the same conclusion, which is this car. And that is kind of cool. That means that both Sims do a great job of simulating this car. Again, this one is more fun to me, mostly because of the force feedback, I would guess. Because it's just so much more... These little bumps there, I can feel everything. I can feel all of that in the wheel. Anyway, guys, very interesting comparison. Obviously, all of this, or a lot of this, is subjective. You might like ACC more for various reasons. The force feedback, though, you can't get away from that. If you have a chance to try AMS2, if you don't own it yet, do yourself a favor and do so, because they are evolving their game quickly, and they are ironing out a lot of issues and improving on a lot of strength, like their force feedback, and that's very impressive to see. It should be quite interesting to throw Assetto Corsa back into the mix and compare that as well, especially modded AC, maybe in another video. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this, guys. I will see you in the next episode, and until then, have a great day. Bye bye.